So with that said, hopefully you're at home here and this is starting to feel, giving you permission to not be David Goggins and not necessarily be optimizing your life all the time, because there are times, like honestly, I get home and I've had a really, really stressful day and I just want to eat chocolate, and I will, and it's not in my diet and it's outside the rules, but I mean, it's just part of life sometimes. James, I want to talk to you about your last week, because I think it'll help when people hear the inside running of people. Like when you see people on podcasts, whatever, you think, these guys have got it all sorted. We don't. We're just like swans with our feet going under the water.
No, it's like, and I'm not trying to compare us to Elon at all, but when one of the first pods we talked about Elon, it was one of the admirable parts was that he's scrappy and he just gets shit done by at any cost. It's not, he's doing his best. He's just doing what's required, and that's a quote from the big fella as well, AH. But just for the context, about midway through last year, I went, okay, cool, I need to pick up my my output. And so with that, I went, right, let's start getting up a bit earlier. Let's get my morning routine worked out, if you will, and see where the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle box come together nicely. And so now and I have done for quite some time. It's up at 3:45. I wake up before the alarm. The alarm's at 4, and I'm often well up before then. Big bottle of water to get the hydration up, short coffee, some sups, and some of our nootropics that turn you into limitless, like Bradley Cooper, and it's just like, fuck, it's the deep work period.
The nootropics are qualia you're using, right?
Yeah. Qualia mind. Yeah, they're crazy. So, and it's just like literally, like Cal Newport talks about deep work and how irregular it is for most people. And I thought, well, you know what, my business sort of signs on around 7:38 and the noise starts. But between 4 o'clock and 7:30 to 8, that's my time. So I completely blocked it out and go, right, on your to-do list or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, what is the most biggest, ugliest, horrible task that you usually put off? It's like, let's attack that prick first and just eat it.
Because that's when you've got the most energy and clarity.
For me it is, yeah. Like I'm not a night owl. Like I said, on the keys at 4, yes, do the 5-minute gratitude journal, because it only takes 5 minutes. And to be honest, I'm the most inherently lazy person there is. If there's a better, faster way to get the result, I'm all for it. So the daily stoic takes you 5 minutes. So you get 10 minutes by the time you had water, a coffee, sat down, got your head starting to click into gear, and your crazy pills have just about hit in. You can nearly count it. 5, 4, 3, 2.
It's legalized drugs.
You fuck yeah. You know them. You love them.
I know. Yeah. I got it from you, and I did the same thing. So I would. When I wake up in the morning, I don't set an alarm, but if I wake up, I'm not going back to sleep. No. It's very rare. So I'm quite often up at 3:30. People who follow me on Instagram see it. Yeah. And what I do is I film the corner of my laptop, which shows the date and the time. And the only reason I do it is to show people, no, I'm working really hard. I'm not a magician here. Like Conor McGregor said, there's no talent here. It's just hard work. And then I film the darkness of my living room. So this is where I am at 4 a.m. I've got my black coffee, organic coffee, qualia when I really need to kick along.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I haven't sort of got that outlandish with Instagram just yet. I'm new to the platform, if you will. But a girlfriend of mine from Sydney said, "Oh, you got a minute to talk?" And I texted her like 3:12 in the morning, and there was another one where she rang me. It was like 5:30 at night, and I said, I haven't moved. And she goes, that's not healthy. And I said, nor's your 9 to 5, so just let me be. She goes, when will you be available to speak? And I said, midnight. And she said, okay, fine, we'll chat tomorrow. So I said, all cool. So that's the day, and then about 7:38 off to the walk. The fitness that's non-negotiable. The walk to the gym, it's about 2.5 k's.
So what time's the walk?
About 7:38, or what time I've crushed the...
7:30 to 8 in the morning.
Yeah, and there's about an hour and 15 in that, and that's when usually all the tribe comes online, and anything they need to know from me I've already preset, like at 3:34 in the morning. I think I'm nuts, and that's all done. So I just let that part of the day unravel as it will, then get back and...
I mean, the guys on the pod here, here today, you would have seen email from me this morning at 5 a.m, 4 a.m, same reason.
Yeah.
So to be clear, you get up at around 3:45, you have a big drink of water, you have a black coffee, you have your nootropics, your qualia.
And sups.
And those other two pieces where you read The Daily Stoic, which is a book written by Ryan Holiday. You can get it on Amazon, and it's one page that's only really half a page because it's got a quote, a Stoic quote, and then it's got an interpretation
Correct.
for modern times under it.
Yep.
And so you can keep the book forever because it's got one quote for every day of the year. So even if you miss a few days, just skip forward to the day that you're now sitting back down. And I do the same thing. A really good friend and business partner of mine gave it to me.
Yep. Yeah.
Terrific book. Travel with it. Cass and I often read it together to get our brains.
Yeah, and then there's a journal that goes with it. So then it's like a small task, which is like, what's your interpretation of, and you can sit there and pen it out. So you make, not only do you read and go, oh, that was a feel good, quote. It's like, well, how does that impact you and where you're at? So it's like a little personal development shot in the arm every morning.
So you got the daily stoic, you've got your gratitude exercise.
5 minutes,
and then you're into the work.
Well, I'm waiting for liftoff. Yeah. So the cold coffee and the nootropics, and then it's just great.
It's almost the same for me. Like I and the big task. Like I'm writing a book at the moment.
Yep.
And I've been chipping away at it first thing in the morning. And I'll get into the reasoning around why in a minute, around that and a bit deeper. But same, I've found the same thing. I just don't try to, unless I wake up and I'm in bed at 8:30.
Yep.
So I get my minimum 6 hours.
Yep.
5.5, 6 hours, and most of the time that's enough for me. Like my body just says it's fine.
I can't get any past that either. So.
Yeah, and so then I work. And I've gotten over the guilt of feeling bad. I've just said, well, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and also with that, just for the people out there, I'm not complaining about it. I'm loving it. There's a big difference between, I've got to get up at 4 o'clock to go to work. It's like, no, I get to get up at 3:45 and crush this. And
I love it too.
I'm just smashing it. It's the best part of the day. It's pitch black. You get to see the sun come up. You knock a whole bunch of stuff out. I've got some team members that are offshore in Portugal and whatnot. If I need to have a check-in with them, they're done, which then has a knock-on effect for the onshore team, because a lot of the work that they'll do will be hinging on what they've done. So it all rolls well. So
what I want to know, James, is what does the rest of the day look like for you, honestly? Because I know for me, I'm done by soon after lunch for most of the heavy lifting.
Heavy lifting, that's right. So then we get into the day and meeting with business partner, sales meeting, and then start to discuss a bit of planning. Anything that needs to be extinguished, any fires that need to be put out that the team can't do, that need a bit more of an authority look over the top of them. And when you've just acquired a company, it's a turnaround. There's a fucking lot of them. So there's a fair bit of input on our behalf at the minute, and I'll jump to an upside to doing the grind or the work in this turnaround. But and then in the afternoon there might be a meeting, like we're talking to Chris and Sam tomorrow for AI implementation. That's a 2 o'clock in the afternoon meeting. I've cleared my deck. All the big rocks have been done. Business is under control. Now I can sit down and go, right, let's have a think about how that will work for me. So that sort of meeting. But by about 3:34, I'm doing menial shit, like just life admin, paying a bill. We use no brain power because your bandwidth is snapped after about
3 or 4,
10 or 11 hours. You're pretty well cooked. And then it's let's go for a walk, grab some food for dinner, cook. Might I add too, this lifestyle, I have been single the whole time I've been doing this, and I don't have children. So there's a factor in there as well that I think is noteworthy. That
Mark's laughing at this.
Yeah. If you want to have a,
sounds super.
The no kids, no wife bit. It's not bad. No, and so look, it's one of those regimes. I think you need to have as you do, Adam, have a pretty supportive partner with it, or someone's on the same trajectory as well, because it could be it's deemed to be quite a selfish routine. Given the fact that you're from 3:30 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, you're pretty much not in a relationship mode 90% of the time.
The other great secret to that, where your partner loves it, people often look, as I said, they'll look at me and go, okay, Adam's got multiple businesses, he's got some net worth, all these things. But I'm still working really hard. And the great thing about that morning routine for my family is, like, for them, now looking selfishly at them, is when I was down at the tennis, right? I was in the lobby. I stay at the QT. I'm in the QT. I'm in the lobby at 4 a.m., right? And I'm working because I know, and this is on a Saturday morning of the tennis. We went down for semi-finals, saw Djokovic play on the Friday. I'm there at 4 a.m. taking care of the stuff that needs to be done, because I know the boys are here working on the pod. There's all sorts of details because it's a new thing. So when you've got new businesses for the first year, a big part of what you're doing is understanding all the roles. So you're doing everything, and you need to have a very clear idea of the standards that you want and be as clear as possible even though the guys we've got here are super, super talented and lots of experience, it's new for them in the podcasting and the information marketing world, you know. So you've got copywriting, you've got thumbnail composition, you've got headlines and how they work together, you've got all the data, and there's a lot to this. Like when you look at podcasting, you think it's easy. It's not. It's a lot of detail, and you've got to articulate and manage the guys here, the offshore contractors that are working for us and all this. So I do that at, that time, so that by the time Cass texts me at 7:30, says, "Hey, sweetie, what's going on?" I've said, "I'm just in the lobby. I've just had a coffee." She goes, "What, do you want me to come down for breakfast?" I'm sure. By the time she comes down at 7:30, 8 o'clock, we have a nice breakfast together. I can shut the laptop because I've put 2.5 hours of work in, and then we go to a Pilates session together. We walk there for half an hour. I'm actually present because I've had that time. So there is definitely upside for the family as well.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Unemployable. If you want to watch another clip, click here, or if you want to see the full episode, click here. Bye for now.